Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little different. I have my notebook here. I've been writing down a few things over the past few months, and normally I would put these type things in a blog post, but since I have discontinued my blog for now, it's going to be in a video. So today I want to talk about a few things that would help you live a better quality of life. I do several of these things myself. Actually, I do all of them, and then some of them I'm still working on and like working towards. So I'm still not 100%. After all, I am human. So grab your coffee and let's get into it. Let's start with, okay, so I am a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, and I really feel like if you can start your day with prayer, your life is going to be so much better. Your day is going to be so much better. But I think studies have shown that even for the non-believer, even if you were to have that meditation time to sit and just be alone with like just shutting down the world. There's so much chaos going on from everywhere with social media and TV and everything like that. If you can just find a spot just to sit and meditate and just be, then I really feel like that is going to help you exponentially throughout your day, throughout your life. And it does take a little while. Like, I pray, and so it does take a while to eventually get to the point where you can actually sit and just be alone and just to receive from the Lord. But even if you can just start out with like 1 minute and then maybe go to 5 minutes, and then once you've developed that situation, once you've developed that that connection with the Lord, then it is just so much easier for you to just go right into it. You don't have to like work at it or anything. You can just go straight into it, and then you're just instantly like in the presence of the Lord, and it is a beautiful thing. And I really feel like if you were to set that standard of daily in the morning, my pastor was actually talking about this the other day. He was saying some people drive, some people go on walks. Like, he goes on walks. I don't think I could do that. So I find sitting outside, as long as it's not cold, I sit outside and I can sit there and just think, and not about anything in particular, just the fact that I am there. So even if you are not a believer, you can still implement the meditation part of it. You can still have that few minutes to yourself without social media, without your phone, without a TV, and just kind of sit there and just be quiet and just like close your eyes and just breathe and focus on your breathing. And even if you just do that, it's going to help you so much. Now, the next one is relatively new to me. So we hear all kinds of different things like, oh, the sun's bad for you. The sun is, it's actually good for you. All these different wishy-washy type scenarios as far as the sun goes. But if you are going to be in the sun, I am very fair complected, so I have to be careful in the sun. But apparently there are studies that show that the morning sun is better for you. It like energizes you. It gives you all these healing properties, gives you more vitamin D. So definitely try to get out in the sun in the morning as opposed to in the afternoon, where it is the harshest with more UV. We're trying to make it a point to get out in the sun in the morning time as opposed to the afternoon. And moving right into something that I am actually pretty passionate about, which is journaling, and not necessarily journaling like, dear journal, this is what I did today. You can do that. I know that there are several people who it really helps them just kind of cope with the day, and it helps them. I have several notebooks. This is one of them, and then I have a calendar as well. So what I do is I like to write down goals. I like to keep a calendar to keep track of everything that, as far as like content, and one thing that I'm really trying to get better with is gratitude lists. So this is, I guess it's kind of like the journaling situation. I like I fully, the word says you enter his courts with thanksgiving. And so I can say it, but I have a hard time writing it down. And it's not that I can't write it down, it's just putting the pen to paper and actually doing it. There's something about when you release the words on the paper that it makes it come alive. And so that's one thing that I'm actually trying to work on, is a gratitude list and being thankful for things. I was in a women's Bible study a few years ago, and she was teaching on words and how important your words are, and it totally transformed my whole thought process and it changed my whole prayer life. And it was all about speaking and your words and creating the world that you want, creating the atmosphere that you want and that you don't want. And so that's something over the past 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, however long it's been. Hang on. 2023. Yeah, it's been like 8 years. So that is one thing that like I say, but I haven't started writing it down. And as much as I write things down, you would think that I would already be on this gratitude list train. I haven't really got into that yet, but I am working on it and trying to be more consistent with it. And so, yeah, just be sure to write down your goals. It really does help you like keep a straight mind and keep you focused on what you want to do and what needs to be done. And it just really kind of helps motivate you just to keep going. And the next thing is reading. And now this is one that I flip-flop with. So I go through spurts. And whenever I'm on a reading binge, I'm like, read. Like, I'll just like blow through a book so fast. And then other times I'm like, nah. I just don't do it. I have no care for it at all. And so this is another one that I'm really trying to work on, is reading daily. And so from my understanding, if you read daily, it is supposed to just like help with everything that you do. Now, I do read like a morning devotion situation through my Bible app every day. But other than that, I'm not much of a reader unless it's like that couple months or maybe even couple weeks time span where I'm just like read. And so that's another thing that I really feel like reading and staying up to date, not necessarily with pop culture, but like learning about things. I know if I'm like, I know whenever I first started getting into gardening, I was just eating up everything, consuming so much content about gardening, what to do, how to do it, what goes with what, like companion planting and zones and all of that. Like, I didn't know anything. And so since I was interested in it, I mean, I was just eating it up for like a year straight. I was just constantly reading up and researching on gardening. And so if there's things that you want to know about, then you are going to devour every piece of written content out there. So just be sure to read and learn. You learn every single day. You should try to learn something new every single day. I know that's a goal of mine, of what I do. And so, yeah, just be sure to try and read, even if it's just a page a day, right? Just try to read something that's not necessarily fiction, so maybe more nonfiction, right? So, yeah. Don't forget to pick up a book and read something today. Another thing that I kind of got like a little lax with, but we are starting to get better at it. So fun fact, I am a Zumba instructor, but since we moved to Jacksonville, I have not taken on a class. I have only done like my playlist like maybe 5 times since we've been here, and it's been almost a year. And but I do stay active. Like, we go for neighborhood walks. We sometimes my kids want to walk to school. We will run/walk. We do all kinds of different activities with our kids. We have 3 kids, and we are usually doing something. And we go to the beach. We have a swimming pool, so we're swimming. And so just try to be active as much as you can. And like my husband, he goes to the gym. I have only went to the gym probably a handful of times since we've been here. I think I've kind of taken a break from the gym. I was just so hardcore in the gym for like the past 5 years. I was just kind of maybe worn out or burnout, and so I was just taking a break. But I still try to stay active, and so that is something that really helps your body. It helps us stay healthy. It helps your lungs, and it does give you a better quality of life. And this is the perfect segue into the next one, which is eat better. Okay, so I am not the cleanest, healthiest type person, but I really do try to pay attention, and especially over the past few years, I've really tried to cut back on the sugar intake. And actually, it's probably been 10 years since I actually quit putting sugar in my coffee. I used to do, this was years ago, like college days, that sort of thing. I would do per cup 3 teaspoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of the powder creamer. And then we eventually swapped to the liquid creamer, but it was still 3 teaspoons of sugar. And so what I would do is I would just cut back. And it took like a whole year for me to completely cut out the sugar from is like instead of doing a whole teaspoon, I would do like a half a teaspoon, and I would just do it in increments. It's small steps. As Stephen tells his team, is how do you eat a whole elephant? One bite at a time. So it's kind of like that same concept. I would pull back like a half a teaspoon here, half a teaspoon like every single day, and then I would get myself used to it. And then eventually it would be, and so I probably could have moved it along a little faster, but it literally took me like a whole year to completely cut out adding sugar to the coffee. And now Steven, he doesn't add sugar in his coffee either. We were just creamer for the longest time, for like years and years and years. And then at the beginning of this year, I actually started cutting out creamer in my coffee as well, because that's just extra sugar. And so whenever we did our corporate fast during January after the first of the year, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And so I started putting cinnamon in my coffee. It kind of makes it look like it's like dirt on the inside if you look at it, just because of the ground cinnamon. But it was something that I was determined to do, and I really wanted to do. I knew I wanted to cut out more sugar than what I was already taking in. And so I really feel like this was like the next step in my no sugar journey. And now I do still have sweets. Not very often. I try not to buy a whole lot of junk food for my kids. I've cut out buying Pop-Tarts and like just different little things like that. Like Debbie cakes, I've never really bought Debbie cakes ever. It's just, if it was there, I knew I would eat it because they're delicious, but they're also terrible for you at the same time. So I never have ever bought Debbie cakes. And then, so anyways, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but it's just something that I'm kind of passionate about. And I just want my family and myself to just be as healthy as we can be. We're already consuming most everything that we eat is already junk anyways, but I really do try to focus on whole foods. I try to keep like carrots and broccoli and blueberries and strawberries and all of the yummy vegetables and fruits that my family loves. I try to keep them in stock and make sure we have good proteins and good fats. We keep nuts, we keep the popcorn, we keep all of those things. And my kids, they do get treats every now and then, but we try to not consume it so much, just because, you can call me, what do they call them, a crunchy mom or something like that, where they just don't let their kids have that kind of stuff. They do get stuff like that. Like they still go to school, they still have their parties, we still buy candy. It's just not in abundance. So I really feel like sugar is a drug, and there's so many different doctors who will tell you sugar is addictive. It's more addictive than like cocaine or any type of drug on the market. And you don't realize it, that you are addicted to it. And so I think by pulling back, it's really going to help our bodies be healthier and work better, and just an overall better quality body, mind, and soul. Now, the other thing I'm kind of passionate about as well, and it is decluttering. Okay, so I grew up in a home where my mom had tons of little trinkets and curio cabinets. I think she had like 3 or 4 different curio cabinets. She collected all the things. I know we had unicorns, like a full curio cabinet full of just like glass unicorns. We had bears. We had shoes. She collected, hang on, I have an itch in my eye. She collected so many different things, and there was just like all of these little decorations everywhere. And dusting was one of my jobs, right? As a kid, that was one of my chores, was dusting like every Saturday morning. And I knew from a young age that I did not want a lot of things in my house. And so, because you have to clean it basically, right? So let's try to be a lazy girl about it and just not have the trinkets. But I do collect other things, and then my family collects things. So my point is, try to declutter when you can. At least, like, I've made it a mission to get rid of at least one thing a day. And for anyone who knows me personally and you've ever been in my house, I don't have a ton of things. I think they're cluttered, and they make your house look messy. And it's just something personally, probably from like childhood trauma or something. Sorry, Mom. But it's just something that I personally I can't do it. Like, we do have some things, and then Steven, he'll kind of get on to me and like, oh, well, why don't you hang up pictures or whatever? And it's like, cause I don't know. I don't. Anyway, so I did see a TikTok the other day. Sorry, I'm off on this rabbit trail, but I did see a TikTok the other day, and it was a girl saying how there was a study done, and they're saying how most homes have over 300,000 things in their house. And so that's kind of actually what started the daily decluttering. So I've always been kind of minimal, but this daily thing has kicked in probably within the past, I'm going to say 2 or 3 months. And it's, it's like, you know what? I really don't use this. I haven't wore this shirt in over a year. Gone. I haven't wore these shoes. Gone. This cup, we've got, it's got a chip in it. Throw it in the trash. Anyway, so that's kind of the thing. That's kind of my mindset right now. And so I'm trying to declutter things as much as possible. And yeah, that's it. So we have started donating more and more to the local charity shops. And so, yeah, try to declutter or get rid of at least one thing a day and see how that makes you feel. And the last thing on my list is to get dressed every single day. So I know growing up, my mom, for the most part, worked for my dad. He was a business owner, and she would do like the books and the spreadsheets and all of the little things on the computer. And she had a home office, and she would work at home, but she would still full face of makeup, fully clothed. And this was back in the 90s, right? She's not going to see anybody. There's no webcams. There's no social media back then. But she would still get dressed. And that is just something that I always remembered. And so that's something that I try to do at least 5 days a week, is to put on a full face of makeup and get dressed, even if I'm just staying at home. Or like maybe not even do a full face, have on at least a light layer of makeup. And usually if I don't have my eyebrows done or mascara on, my eyelashes and eyebrows are literally the same color as my hair, and it looks like I don't have anything on. Like, it doesn't look like I have any eyelashes or eyebrows. So I try my best to do makeup and at least have some type of cute outfit, even if it's just like jeans even if it's just like shorts and like just a little simple white top like this. Like, I always try to be presentable, especially if we have people who just want to show up out of nowhere. Anyway, so that is my list of 8 different things that I feel like would help give you a better quality of life. Some of them are a little superficial, but some of them are very beneficial. And if you have any questions about any of them, feel free to leave me a comment, or you can email me, and I will see you guys later. Bye.